You never really know when life is about to change. Sometimes it happens in the middle of a storm. Sometimes it happens in the middle of an ordinary afternoon. And sometimes it happens in a moment so quiet you almost don't notice it. But Sabrina Lennox did, and what she saw that day, what she caught a single dad janitor doing in her home, shattered her heart open in ways she didn't know were possible. If this story touches your heart, please like, subscribe, and let me know what city you're watching from. Now, lean in, because this is the kind of story people don't forget. Sabrina Lennox wasn't just a billionaire, she was the billionaire. Precision, elegance, power. Everything in her life operated on a schedule that could intimidate a military commander. Meetings, acquisitions, charity galas, board approvals, press statements. Her days were blueprints, not breaths. But what people didn't see was the room she didn't talk about. The quiet room, the one behind a door she rarely opened, the one with soft white curtains, stuffed animals untouched for years, and machines that hummed where laughter once lived. Her daughter, Lily, 8 years old, fragile, silent. The accident had taken her voice, her movement, and her spark. Doctors said hope existed, but only in the smallest, most clinical ways. Sabrina believed them, or maybe she forced herself to, because believing in miracles hurt too much. That afternoon, Sabrina's last meeting was cancelled. She headed home early, exhausted but relieved at the rare break. She stepped into her mansion, heels tapping on the marble floor, expecting the usual quiet, except she didn't get quiet. She froze mid-step. There it was, laughter, bright, young, real. The sound rushed down the hallway like sunlight bursting through a door. Sabrina's heart hammered. It couldn't be Lily. It hadn't been Lily for years. She followed the sound slowly, afraid it would vanish if she moved too fast. She reached the hallway. The sound grew louder. It was coming from that room. Her hand shook as she turned the knob. Inside, kneeling on the soft rug, was a man in a janitor uniform. A single dad she recognized only from passing glances in her corporate building. Tall, gentle eyes, humble presence. His name, she remembered, was Marcus Hale. Next to him was Lily, her head tilted toward him, her tiny hand resting on a stuffed bunny, her eyes lit with something Sabrina hadn't seen in years. Joy. Marcus wasn't cleaning. He wasn't working. He was performing. He had stacked towels into little creatures and was making them talk, giving them silly voices, moving them around, pretending they were having an adventure. Lily, her. Lily was smiling, and the laughter. It was hers. Sabrina covered her mouth, tears pooling instantly. Marcus glanced back, startled. Ms. Lennox, I'm so sorry, I didn't hear you come in. But Lily reached for him again, her fingers curling around his sleeve. She wanted him to stay. Sabrina felt her breath tremble. What? What were you doing? Marcus swallowed, nervous. I finish my janitorial rounds early sometimes. Lily was alone, and she looked like she needed company, so I just talked to her, made her laugh a little. Sabrina stepped inside slowly, like she was afraid her weight would break the moment. No one has made her laugh since. She stopped. The pain knotted in her throat. Marcus nodded gently. I know. I read her file in the medical folder outside the door. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. His voice shook. I know what it's like. My son aged. He stopped talking after losing his mum. So I used to sit with him like this, even when he didn't respond. Sometimes kids don't need a cure. They just need someone who isn't afraid to sit on the floor with them. Sabrina sat slowly beside her daughter, the rug soft beneath her palms. Sabrina had given Lily the best doctors, the best machines, the best specialists money could find. But never this. Never a moment where someone simply sat on the floor and tried. Lily looked at her mother, then back at Marcus, and giggled again when he made a silly towel puppy bark at her toes. A tear slid down Sabrina's cheek. Marcus, she whispered, would you keep coming back? He blinked. Ma'am. I'll triple your salary. I'll clear your entire schedule. Just please help my daughter smile again. Marcus didn't look at the money. He looked at Lily. Ma'am, I'm not doing this for a paycheck. I'm doing it because she deserves a childhood again, and because people helped me when my world fell apart. Now I help others. Sabrina had never felt so small, so humbled, so human. For the first time in a long time, she let herself hope. Like and subscribe if you believe small kindness can change lives, and tell me what city you re-watching from. Now, let's continue. Days turned into weeks. Marcus visited daily not as staff, but as a friend. He brought puppets, children's songs, stories, and warm patience that seemed to fill the entire room. Lily started moving her fingers, then her arms. Then she lifted her head without assistance. The doctors were baffled. They called it stimulus response progression. But Sabrina knew better. It was love. One afternoon, Sabrina came home again, this time intentionally early. She heard not only laughter, but a voice. Not perfect, not strong, but a tiny whisper. Ma, Mama. Sabrina's knees buckled. She rushed inside the room. Marcus sat behind Lily, gently supporting her back as she concentrated. Lily turned toward her mother. Mama. Sabrina burst into tears, pulling her daughter into her arms, shaking with joy. Marcus stood back, eyes wet, hands trembling. Sabrina looked at him through her tears. How did you do this? Marcus shook his head. I didn't fix her. I just gave her a reason to want to come back. It became clear to Sabrina that Marcus wasn't just a janitor. He was a father who had fought for his child the same way she longed to fight for hers. He carried pain, humility, and wisdom money could never buy. One evening, Sabrina found him cleaning the hallway again, quietly humming. Marcus, she said softly, what if I told you I want you to stay? Not just for Lily, she hesitated, but for me, for this home, for our family. Marcus looked at her as if she'd just spoken in a language he wasn't sure he deserved to hear. Sabrina. I'm just a janitor." She smiled through warm tears. "You're the man who brought my daughter back to life. That's worth more than anything in my world." Lily peeked from behind the door, holding her bunny. She lifted her arms toward Marcus, wanting him to carry her. He did, and in that moment, the billionaire, the janitor, and the little girl realized